Mom spots a blue mark on her daughter's leg, rushes her to the hospital after it turns black. As a parent, keeping an eye out for your child is very crucial. Looking out for their health is on top of every parent's list to make sure their child is healthy and happy. No parent wants to go through the pain of seeing their child suffer. As time-consuming and tiring it is for the parents to run around and making sure their children are okay, it is something they do out of love. Although it is a hard job to do, naturally a parent's intuition steps in from time to time. 2 years ago, Kristen Donovan from the United States went through a traumatic yet a life-learning lesson which made her realize that a parent's intuition is something one shouldn't ignore. It was a normal day in the Donovan household. Kaylin was playing outside with her friend as Christine, her mom, did some work of her own. It wasn't until later that Christine noticed a bruise on her daughter's leg. As most parents would have thought at the time, Christine dismissed the bruise considering that she might have gotten it as a result of falling while playing outside. However, this did not convince Christine to let go of it entirely. Her parental intuition kept her alert. Even after ignoring the bruise, the couple kept a close eye on it to make sure it wasn't anything other than that. Initially, nothing happened, but with time, the bruise eventually turned black. Unaware of the change in her daughter's injury, she sent Kaylin to school only a few days. She packed her stuff and made sure she had her breakfast before dropping her off to school, as Kaylin was normal as ever with no symptoms of any disease or critical injury. She was just a happy 5-year-old. It was a little later that Christine was busy with her daily errands that her phone rang. It was a call from Kaylin's school saying that she had a very high fever. The Donovan couple knew something was seriously wrong, and they had to take some action. They rushed to the school to make sure their daughter was okay, and then drove her to the hospital. As the mark turned even darker within the hour, their fear started to come alive. They weren't even sure what was going on, but their daughter's worsening condition was enough to make them realize that things are getting critical, and each passing minute is crucial. Everything needed to be done quickly, but also in all senses. Reaching the hospital, they rushed her into the ER. The doctor did a thorough examination only to reveal dreadful information that no parent wishes to hear in 1,000 years. Kaylin had fallen prey to the bite of a very venomous spider, a spider whose bite is 15 times more potent than a rattlesnake. This was enough to throw the parents in a state of horror. They were in a pool of guilt as soon as they learned that the bruise that they were ignoring from the last few days was something that had to be treated at its earliest. Well, what was done had to be left in the past. Now their priority was to save their daughter from further damage, which is, doctors were asked to do whatever had to be done to counter the venom's effect. The venomous spider is often known as the widow spider. According to Christine, Kaylin never felt the bite. The spider could have been anywhere when it bit her. No one knew. She never felt it bite her. A surprised Donovan told CBS Boston. It could have been in her jeans, in the location where it bit her. We just don't know. The distinctive bite that was a part of Kaylin was a horrific nightmare for the parents. They knew it had to be treated promptly before the venom spreads any further. Every year in the US alone, over 2,000 people become a victim to the widow spider bites, which needs to be treated urgently, or else consequences could be fatal. Though it's not common to hear people passing away as a result of the widow spider bite, however, it's still a possibility no parent would ever want to experience, which is why it scared the Donovan family to their very core. Thankfully, their daughter got treated, and after proper medication and undivided attention, she was discharged from the hospital. With antibiotics and frequent dressing changes, she is now as healthy as a horse, ready to join back to school and continue her daily shenanigans at home. This event has pushed the Donovan family to spread awareness about the widow spider and its venomous bite. They are now working towards getting their story to hundreds of people and hoping of creating awareness about the symptoms of the widow spider bite and how bad it can turn out to be if it's not treated in time. The Donovans hope that they can make a contribution and help others to avoid the panic and fear that they went through only because of the lack of information they had regarding the matter. In conclusion, life does teach everyone a lesson. It depends on the people what to do with that lesson, to either sleep on it or to work more actively to make the best of their lives by helping others by sharing their experiences and stories. No one ever knows if one little thing could inspire someone to do something even bigger.